When we're doing chemistry problems, the teacher often wants the answers in the right number of sig figs. So for this problem, we have 120 dot inches, 120 point inches, which basically means it has 3 sig figs. We need to convert, so I'm going to sort of make my picket fence here. Right. And let's go ahead and put 12 inches on the bottom and then 1 foot on the top. And then we can just go ahead and do 120 dot times 1 over 12. The units do cancel out. We're left with feet, so we know we're in the right place. Okay? So this, of course, becomes 10, and all the answer choices do show 10. So students will think back to the rules. The rule says that when you multiply and divide, that's what we did. We didn't do any addition or subtraction. We should use the lowest number of sig figs present in any of the numbers that we use. So we look at 120, we look at 1, we look at 12, we look at the original numbers given in the problem, right? So 120 point is definitely 3 sig figs. And then a student would also do this, right? Like 12 inches, I used that in my problem. It has 2 sig figs. And then you also used 1 foot, right? Which is 1 sig fig. So they say, okay, then that means I need to have 1 sig fig in the answer. And actually 10 already has 1 sig fig. So they say, okay, answer choice A, that sounds reasonable. And then they call it a day. But of course, this is wrong. Right? The answer is actually going to be C, the one that has 3 sig figs. So why is that? It might seem like, well, why are you using the one with the most amount of sig figs? Well, here's the thing. The only real measured value in our problem is going to be 120 point inches. 12 and 1 foot are not really measured values. This is like a defined value, and this is just something that is always true. 12 inches is always equal to 1 foot, and it's not like we had to measure 12 inches or measure 1 foot. In fact, all conversions are inherently infinite numbers of sig figs. So for example, 60 seconds to 1 minute, we know that this is an exact conversion because that's how we defined it. Right? We don't have to say that 60 seconds and 1 minute are both 1 sig fig. So if you use this conversion in a problem, it automatically makes the answer 1 sig fig. That doesn't make too much sense. So anytime you have conversions, we don't really factor those in when we're thinking about sig figs. You only factor in the values that are measured, and typically the question will sort of maybe make it obvious that this is the quantity that you're going to use, right? And it's not a conversion. Go ahead and try this problem to see if you know your sig figs.